So I have these end tables. They're not fantastic, they're flat pack furniture, and they don't really fit in too well with the aesthetic I'm going for in my bedroom, which is nerd, basically. So in an effort to ensure that I never ever have adult happy fun times again, I'm going to redesign these end tables, use the existing materials along with a couple of other bits, not very much though, and I'm going to try and turn these into something more fitting to be in the 24th century rather than the whatever century we're in now, 13th it feels like with the plague. But anyway, let's think of future, better times. So ladies and gentlemen and all variations thereupon, why don't you join me on this most enterprising build. So taking the drawers out and having a look at what's on the inside, I can see that there's no bottom to this, so I'm going to have to put a bottom in, and the back is just a thin piece of wood, it's plywood, it's not going to support any weight. So what I want to do is take the top off, take the side panels off, and basically take the whole thing apart. Okay, so having took them apart, they need a bit of cleaning up. There's a lot of holes on the internals where the brackets were holding the shelves in place. But while I was taking it away, I had a bit of a brainwave. Because I'm using these as sort of a right angle in an L shape that's going to be pushed in the corner, the back end of the table isn't actually going to be seen, the back and the side. It's only going to be the internal structure that's going to be seen. And on the other side, there's only two holes. Unfortunately, they're not at the same level. There's one here and one higher up here. So I can't reuse both of them for the bottom shelf. But this higher one I could use, and then I only have to worry about plugging that one. And then largely, that's a blank surface. So what I'm going to do is turn these around so the inside becomes the outside. Now, if this isn't just the sketchiest way to cut wood, so what I've done in order to keep my line straight, because I don't have the proper equipment, is I've put a metal ruler along the line that I want to cut, hopefully enough thickness that the saw should stay on the line. So what I've done here is I've used extra pieces of wood to raise it off the ground so I don't drill into the floor. As we saw earlier, the holes for the screws are at different levels on the bottom of these, and we want them at the same level to keep the one shelving. So what I'm going to do is use the higher of the two screw holes as a guide for drilling through the other one. So what I've done is I've clamped two sides together, but the opposite way around, so I know it's going to line up perfectly. And that hole's done. Just need to flip it over. So I need to adjust the clamps, and I can do the same on the other side. See, that's where I've drilled through. Now if I drill another hole through that one, it'll do a hole on the opposite side. And I'm going to drill the holes, I think 5 centimeters in each side should do it. And so this is the final structure. The top has been turned into two shelves, one for the top, one for the bottom, and the two sides have formed now a triangle. The surface here is going to have to be covered before painting, because the MDF, if I just paint onto that, it's just going to there's parts up here that's got to be covered as well, and around the back there is a gap, and that's because this top section originally sat on top of the table, so by putting it in between I've gained a little bit of space. So rather than having the edges overhang, I've had a gap run down the middle, because that's going to be pushed against the wall and hidden, so it doesn't really matter. And all of these holes I don't really have to worry about, but they're also going to be hidden, and the only parts you'll see will be the solid wood. When it comes to covering the raw MDF, I already have suitable material in the form of what was the backing for the, I don't know what to call these. Are these cupboards or tables? They're like a mixture of both, the bedside tables. But I'm going to place this along here, trace along the side, put this out, use this to cover, because it's a suitable size and I've got no other use for it. Okay, what I've done is I've drawn out the design I want on suitable drafting paper, and I've gone with the Starfleet logo, but really you could do any sort of logo that you wanted to. The Jedi or Rebellion logos from Star Wars would work just as well, but if I did those, I would want to do the rest of the room out in Star Wars stuff, and the Star Wars aesthetic tends to be quite run down, which isn't really what I want for my own home. So I've drawn out the logo, and this crease is going to be the corner of the cupboard. So I'm going to cut along here to create two pieces, not because I didn't need two pieces for the design I'm going to do, but because it allowed me to position it more easily on the reflective film, so that I can more efficiently use it. Not that I have any shortage of it, but it would just make it a lot easier. The important thing to remember is there's a directionality to this, and there may be with any other logo that you choose. So if you put it on the wrong side of the film, then when you put it onto the inside of the cupboard, you're going to end up with a backwards logo. So we need to make sure that the side that we're putting the logo onto and we're cutting out is the non-sticky side. The sticky side needs to be face down at this stage. So let's try and position these so that I use the minimum amount of the film. And now all that's left is to make a spattering of stars with the silver leaf, and we're ready to bring these end tables into the 24th century.